Yo, what it do, Hustle Nation? Today we're talking about 10 proven habits of successful entrepreneurs, according to an article I found on Forbes magazine. They looked at some of the top performers in business in several different industries, and they laid out 10 things that they all have in common. So all of us want to be on that level at some point. So as they say, success leaves clues. So you got to model what the winners are doing. So do me a favor, go ahead and comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand for a free business shout out. Don't forget to smash that share button. If you're checking us out on YouTube, like the page, like the channel. If you're checking us out on Facebook, like the page. And let's get ready to get this party started, people. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, Hustle Nation, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show this morning. I am your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from MonetizeMyLifeAcademy.com, home of the premier digital marketing mastermind on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are trying to figure out how to build a bigger, bolder, more profitable brand online, how to get your systems in place, how to market your business, how to make more sales, how to get more traffic, how to generate more leads. That's what we do in the mastermind. Go to monetizemylifeacademy.com to check that out. Question of the day: what got you started on your entrepreneurial journey? That is the question of the day. You guys know we do a free vacation giveaway every week, and that drawing is today at noon. So if you answer the question of the day, put QOTD and then give us your answer, and you will be entered into a drawing to win a free vacation. The question: what started you on your entrepreneurial journey? A couple quick announcements before we get live and in living color with these 10 habits of successful entrepreneurs. The Cortez Hustle Show blog is official, y'all, and it's up and running. I need y'all to do me a favor. Go check it out over at thecortezhustleshow.com. And if you happen to mosey on over there, you'll find that I'm giving away a very, very cool deal just for you guys checking out the show. So thecortezhustleshow.com. Go check it out, man, and see what that free gift is over there, man. I'm giving away 2 free gifts just for people who go hang out and check out the blog and how it's laid out and all that kind of stuff. So check that out. Also, if you would like for me to put the full power of the Cortez Hustle Show and all of this marketing genius behind your brand, then you, my friend, need to comment keyword sponsorship. Starting at just $50, I can get you some views. I can get your brand out there. All you have to do is comment sponsorship, and let's have a conversation about how I can help you get your brand, your product, your service, get you some leads, all of that good stuff by sponsoring a segment, an episode of the Cortez Hustle Show. So y'all know what it is, man. If you have not already, comment in the chat the name of your business and or your brand for the free business shout out. Jessica's already answering the question of the day, wanting better for myself and realizing my purpose in life started her on her entrepreneurial journey. I love that. You guys know I give my answer towards the end of the show, but it might surprise you what started me on my entrepreneurial journey. But nevertheless, we're going to talk about this Forbes article, and I'm going to share. Matter of fact, let me grab the link to this Forbes article so you guys can get the whole thing as well. But I don't know about you guys. I study success, right? And one of the things that you could do if you're trying to transform your consumption, if you're trying to change your mental diet, let me help you with that, guys, because you got to set up automation in your life. You got to set up automation in your life if you're going to transform your consumption diet, meaning the things that hit you regularly. And one of the things that you can do is set up something called Google Alerts. And since I study winning, I study success, I study entrepreneurship, I study branding and marketing, a Google Alert would be like this for me. Just go to google.com/alerts, and it's going to ask you, what do you want to be alerted about? So I put in entrepreneurship. I put in billionaires. I put in digital marketing. And every morning, Google sends me the top articles or the most popular articles in those categories. Come on, man. I'm trying to help you, right? Sometimes it is about you going out and buying books like, High Performance Habits. A book like this, Believe It, Jamie Kern Lever, Lima. This lady built $1 billion cosmetic brand. You think I'm not going to dive all the way in this book and find out what she had to go through to build a billion dollar brand? And I'm building $1 billion media company? Absolutely. But sometimes these are books. I don't have them around me all the time. But when I get that email notification and Google says, hey, here's another article on billionaire success. Here's another article on digital marketing that you might like. I've added my consumption for success. I've added some automation to it. So check out Google Alerts, man. It's a good way for you to get some good content every day on autopilot. Quote of the day, y'all know here on the Cortez Hustle Show, we like to kick things off with a quote. And today's quote of the day is from the late, great Bob Marley. It says, you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. You never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. Quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show by the legendary Bob Marley. This is why successful people are always pushing the limits. Who's calling me on Messenger? This is why successful people are always pushing the limits. They are always, let me cancel this Facebook real quick. They are always seeming to back themselves up in a corner. They're always challenging themselves to do the insurmountable. Why? Because they understand that they will never know their strength until being strong is all they have. So they put themselves in situations where strength is demanded of them. They constantly put themselves in uncomfortable positions intentionally.
right? That's one of the reasons that a lot of them like to take cold showers. When my mentor told me this, I'm like, man, no way I'm taking a cold shower. But he said, here's the magic and the principle behind taking cold showers. It is you voluntarily putting yourself in uncomfortable situations until they become comfortable. I was like, oh. So when you're thrust into a situation that might make you feel a little uneasy, it's something that you're used to. When winners are thrust into situations where it requires them to be focused, it requires them to be strong, it requires them to perform under pressure because they voluntarily put themselves under pressure all the time, then when it happens by default, they're already comfortable in that situation, in those shoes, right? So quote of the day here on the Cortez Hustle Show: you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice, by the great Bob Marley. All right, so if you guys have a quote that you like to live your life by, or a quote that means something to you, then feel free to share it in the comments as well. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go through some of these 10 success habits of successful entrepreneurs. So let me see, share. Yes, I want to share my screen, and boom. There we go. So I put the link to the Forbes article in, so you guys can go and check this out for yourself. But man, if you're not subscribed to Forbes and you want to be massively successfully financially, man, this is the kind of stuff that you consume, right? So let's see who the author is. Alejandro Cremades. I hope I'm saying that right. It's funny. I have a Spanish name, but that's all the Spanish I know how to speak is my name. My first name is Hernando. My middle name is Cortez. That's so when people say, you always say H Cortez, what does the H stand for? The H stands for Hernando. So that's all the Spanish I know how to speak. Hernando Cortez is all the Spanish I know how to speak, people. But want to be successful, want to be a successful entrepreneur? Here are 10 habits that billionaires, high-profile investors, and high-growth startup founders have in common. Number one, they read. And this is no surprise, right? If there is one thing that these successful professionals seem to do more than anyone else, and perhaps anything else, it is read. They consume books with an incredible appetite. It seems the more successful they are, the more hours they dedicate to reading each day. This can't be just a coincidence. It's worth making time to read real books. And this is something that I had to figure out. Big Boy 357, what's going on, my friend? Says you never know how strong you have to. Yeah, man, that is a dope quote. I'm getting back into reading more and more every day. I don't spend hours in reading like most of the billionaires and high nine-figure millionaires and deca millionaires, but I'm getting there. I listen to more podcasts and more videos, but there's something about reading. And then I got a strategy from Marquell Russell. He's a high performance, high ticket sales coach. And he says whenever he gets the book, he always gets the audio book. And when he reads the book, he's listening to the audio book, but he's listening on 2x, 3x speed. So he's listening fast and going along with his hand. And it helps him get through books faster. So I'm going to try that the next time I buy a book. I'm gonna see if I can get the audio book. And when I devote my time to it, I'm gonna see if that's going to help me. So how many books per month are you guys reading? How many books per month? I'm reading at least one, but I know that's not enough because most really successful people are reading like 1 or 2 books per week, right? So I'm getting there, getting my reading game up. So number one is they are readers. Number 2, this one absolutely surprised me. It is sleep. It is sleep. Jessica says she's reading at least 2 books per month. That's awesome, right? I got to get there. I got to catch up, Jessica. Sleep. This may be both the most underestimated and most valuable success habit for entrepreneurs. Sleep impacts everything from health to how you feel and look, as well as thinking and decision-making abilities. Just a couple hours more of real quality sleep could provide the edge needed to outperform and feel a whole lot better in the process. Whatever you want to improve on, make sure you are getting your sleep right before trying any more exotic or expensive Band-Aids. Man, listen. I did an episode and I'm going to bring that back. I said sleep is overrated, but rest is necessary. When I see that and it says sleep, I see that as rest, right? Because a lot of times people are sleeping long hours, but they're not resting, right? And the only way your body rejuvenates is in rest. So while I may not sleep 8 hours a night, I do rest for a solid 6. I'm the guy, when my head hits the pillow, like they say, when you go to sleep, sometimes it takes you 45 minutes to an hour to get into your REM sleep, your deep restorative sleep. Not the kid. Not the kid. Ask my wife. She'll tell you. When I'm out, I am out. And I'm in a deep, restful, restorative sleep. But I'm going to have to add another hour or 2 to that and see if that makes a bigger impact, right? You got to at least try this stuff. You can't throw it out the window. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, oh man, poo sleep. I'm a hustler, so I'm on a grind for, my 19 hours and I'm gonna sleep 3 or 4. Listen, man, there's a difference between grinding for 19 hours and your last 7 hours being sloppy and unproductive because you're foggy in your thought process because you're tired, and grinding 8 hard hours when you're fully rested, full of vigor, sharp, mentally focused, and clear on what it is you're doing. There's a difference. Don't get it twisted, man. Don't get it twisted. You need your rest. That's the only way and the only time that your body actually restores itself, regenerates itself. It saves all of that activity until when you are unconscious, right? Keep that in mind. So we're talking about 10 habits of successful entrepreneurs. If you have not already answered the question of the day is this: what started you on your entrepreneurial journey? And you guys know I'll give my answer towards the end of the show, but I want to know from you guys. I want to hear from you guys. Put QOTD and answer your question. What started you on your entrepreneurial journey? And if you answer the question with QOTD, then you'll be entered into a drawing this afternoon at noon, where I'm going to give away another vacation voucher. So number 1 was they read. Number 2 is they sleep. Number 3, money management is 3rd on the list of successful entrepreneurs, right? Successful entrepreneurs are very careful with money management. They must be great in this area to balance cash flow and avoid going broke when they are really beginning to realize success. This doesn't mean being cheap, nor is it throwing away money on losses to scale, always the best, nor is it throwing away money on losses to scale, always the best business model. I don't know if I read that right. It's really about appreciating that every dollar spent is either taking you closer or further from your goals. Now, this is heavy for me because I'm getting into that place in my business where you start every business goes through cycles, right? There is what's called the initial startup phase, right? And that's when you just kind of land the foundation, you're getting your paperwork in order, you're starting to understand who your clientele is, who you serve, what you do, you're building your processes and your procedures, just getting started, right? Then you hit what's called penetration. That's when you start making a name for yourself in the market that you're in, right? So I'm in the digital marketing space, and one side of my business, the other side of my business is the financial education space. So right now in both of those spaces, I'm starting to penetrate the market. More and more people are starting to recognize that, hey, this Cortez Hustle guy knows his stuff. This Thornton Online Marketing company, they can really help you get to the next level with your brand, right? So it's at this stage, you have to be careful with every dollar, because the next stage is called momentum. That's when you hit that, you kind of trugging along like this, and then you start doing that, right? That's momentum. And if you're not careful with every dollar, it will determine how long you remain in penetration mode versus how quickly you get into momentum, right? Pay attention to every dollar. Make every dollar count. Make every tool you invest in, make every mentor that you spend time with. Every dollar must count. So does every minute. Every second must count with how you manage your time, right? So it is 7:22 right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. So y'all know what time it is. That means it's time for 1 minute motivation. I am so big on positive personal growth and self-development that let me bring in my actual video for today. So what we do on the Cortez Hustle Show 1 minute motivation is I share a motivational video with you guys. And where is my video? Where's my download? I share a motivational video with you about 1 minute, sometimes 90 seconds of that video. And then we go into, I kind of give you my thoughts. And then I ask that you guys also comment your thoughts on the 1 minute motivation video as well. But man, I'm having trouble finding my video for today. I know I downloaded it. Give me 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. And let me, where's my downloads? Oh man, I thought I was ready for y'all this morning. Turns out that I'm not. So 1 second, let me, because I can't play it from the actual YouTube channel, but I can once I download this thing. All right, so while I am getting this done, you guys tell me, man, what is the last thing you did in the area of personal growth and self-development? What is the last thing you did in the area of personal growth and self-development? What say ye, Facebook, YouTube? Last thing you did in the area of personal growth and self-development, while I get today's 1 minute motivation video ready for us. All right, I think I got it now.
Only live once, so do what you feel.
Wait a minute. There we go. All right, so here we go. 1 minute motivation on the Cortez Hustle Show.
Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day. Simple goals, but have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our 1 minute motivation clip for the day. What did y'all hear, man? What did y'all hear from the great Denzel? Right? This is a habit that I start doing when I start reading Brendan Burchard's book, High Performance Habits, right? He talks about daily goals a lot. And I also went out and I grabbed his planner. So every day in this planner, it asks me to write down what are my top 3 goals or priorities for the day. And then what is the task that must absolutely get done today, right? And there's magic in writing down your top 3 goals and your most important task of the day. It's going to require discipline and consistency. Discipline and consistency is what it's going to take, y'all. And my simple definition of discipline is doing what you know needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it or you're tempted to do otherwise. That's my simple definition of discipline. It's doing what you know needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it or when you're tempted to do otherwise, right? Now, I failed this morning. I was tempted to stay in the bed, so I didn't get up at 4:30. I got up at 6. But what's the difference? When I get up at 4:30, I get my workout in. When I get up at 6, I don't have as much time. I got to prepare for the show. So I missed my workout this morning. I was tempted to stay in the bed. So you got to be disciplined. Hard work works. And last but not least, do not confuse movement with progress. Do not confuse movement with progress. Right? Jessica says, be consistent. Big Boy 357 says, nothing is worthwhile until you take some risk. You are 100% right on that, my friend. That is 1 minute motivation here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by the Digital Product Bootcamp. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have gift, talent, special abilities, knowledge in your head, and you're trying to figure out how to turn that knowledge into income streams, I want to share with you a short video clip testimonial of one of my students who went through our boot camp and did just that and her successes. So check out this little clip from our Digital Product Bootcamp student, Miss Ariel Bivens Biggs.
Hey, my friend, listen, you've got a gift, talent, special ability. Why are you sitting on it and not turning it into a digital product so that you can market and sell it online? Hey, I'm H Cortez, author of Monetize My Life, 4 incredibly simple ways to turn your passions into profits. And that's exactly what I do. I'm hosting a boot camp called the Digital Product Boot Camp that will teach you how to turn your gifts, talents, your intellectual capital into a digital product you can market and sell online. But guess what? Don't just take it from me. Let you hear from one of my students how excited she is about what this process has done for her.
Hey, Coach Cortez, it's me, Ariel. I just wanted to thank you for helping me to create my product this weekend and launch the product with the systems in place. Man, I'm just truly amazed. Like, I got 7 sales in 4 days, and I've been thinking to myself, why didn't I do this thing and launch this thing a long time ago? But nevertheless, it's launched, it's lit, it's hot. So I'm appreciative, I'm thankful, and I'm looking forward to creating more products and more success with you. Thank you so much.
Wow, 7 sales in 4 days. And then she sent me this text message where she got 2 more sales overnight. How would you like to turn your gifts, talents, special abilities, intellect into digital products that will allow you to wake up to new money every day? All you gotta do is click the link around this video to register for the Digital Product Bootcamp, and I hope to see you on the inside.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, all you got to do is comment keyword bootcamp, and I will get you guys that link to get yourself registered for our next upcoming digital product bootcamp. There's nothing like making money in your sleep. And that's what Ariel was able to do after we put her systems and her products together in place. So we're talking about the 10 habits of successful entrepreneurs. We talked about they read, they sleep, and they manage their money well. So let's get into number 4. Let me go back to my screen share so you guys can see this with me. Bang. Yes, I'm going to share my screen. There we go. And so number 4 is a big one that a lot of people are also underrate, which is exercise. You don't have to walk around looking like The Rock or an Instagram model to be a successful entrepreneur. In fact, if you track the photos of today's top entrepreneurs and CEOs, they look quite different before they had all of this money. The point is not about looks. It is that a strong body fosters a strong mind. You've got to have one of those if you are going to make it as an entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not figured out that entrepreneurship is warfare, then that's probably why you neglect exercise. And when I say warfare, a lot of people get it confused. Well, Cortez, are you talking about if it's warfare competing against other companies and all that kind of stuff? No, not at all, my friends. I don't compete with nobody in business. In fact, I collaborate with people who are in the same lane as me. So no, I'm not talking about warfare in the sense of I'm at war with other companies, other entities. Now, am I a competitor? Do I want to compete? Absolutely. But you know where the war happens as an entrepreneur? The battle is within. The battle is within. The warfare goes on between my ears, right? When I am doubting myself and I want to give up, that's where the war is taking place. That's where the war is. It is, how do you battle the old you that wants you to go back to old, unproductive, unsuccessful habits versus the new you that says, I want more out of life and I'm willing to go get it. I'm willing to take some risks. I'm willing to be laughed at. I'm willing to be mocked. The war that must be fought is between your own 2 ears. Are you ready for that? And when you are doing the little things every day, like exercising, like staying mentally sharp, like reading, like studying, like hanging around the right people, man, it gives you that, that edge to keep going, right? See, when you exercise regularly, your brain releases all of the feel-good hormones. And in particular, and I'm not saying that you have to do this, any exercise beats none at all. But when you exercise in the morning, I'm telling you, you release all of those hormones that lead to mental clarity, happiness, focus. You relieve the stress and you're ready to slay your day. That's why 4:30 is my time. I get up 4:30, I get in my journal. By 5 o'clock, I'm ready. I go downstairs, I do 5 miles on my bike, I do my other calisthenics and all of that kind of stuff. And the days that I miss, I can tell the difference, right? I can tell the difference. So learn how to slay your day with exercise. It just does something to you. And especially when you do it in the morning, you feel good knowing that you've already got a big hurdle out of the way. And those little wins like that, they really mean something. They really mean something. So number 4 is exercise. Find you a routine. Find you a routine, right? Whether it's getting up in the morning, whether you work out at the lunch hour, whether you work out as soon as you get off of work, find you a routine that allows you to get some exercise in every single day. But then on 2 or 3 days, make sure you ratchet up the intensity. So you should every day, maybe you are walking or riding the bike every day, just casually, just working up a sweat, increasing your heart rate. But 2 or 3 days, you should be hitting it hard, right? And that would be my recommendation, but I'm not a trainer. Talk to your doctor about that. Number 5, aggressively create and protect time for relaxation. Could this be why I'm not as successful as I want to be? Because I do not do that. I do not aggressively create and protect time for my relaxation. So burnout is one of the top threats to entrepreneurs. If you are going to make it through to the results and manage to maintain being on top of your game, you have to be very intentional and even aggressively carve out and defend time to relax and decompress every single week. Wow. So it's going to get easier for me this time of the year because it's starting to warm up outside. And in fact, it's going to be 60 degrees today. Guess where I'm going to be? I'm going to be out in the garden, baby. I'm going to be building my garden beds and creating my hoop houses and all that kind of stuff. So that is one way that I decompress, but I don't aggressively seek that time to do that, right? And that's something that I have to get better at. By the way, if you have not answered the question of the day is, what started you on your entrepreneurial journey? What started you on your entrepreneurial journey? Put QOTD and give your answer. And of course, you'll be entered into the drawing to win the free vacation that takes place at noon today, live right here on these very stations. All right. Number 6, we're talking about 10 principles, 10 habits of successful entrepreneurs. They set big, clear goals. They set big, clear goals. It may be basic, but you'll always be limited or lifted by the goals you set. And I like that. He said limited or lifted. Your goals will limit you or lift you, right? By the goals you set. Are you incubating a small business or a dragon? How big are those goals, man? It's just setting for yourself. Are you playing around with that thing, right? If your goals that you have set can be accomplished by you and you alone, let me be the first to tell you that they're too small. You should not be able to accomplish all the things you want to accomplish by yourself. If you can, then chances are your goals are small and petty. The bigger the goals, the more people have to be involved. Right? I'm not building a media empire that's going to one day surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney by myself. I got the vision. It was downloaded to me, but I can't build it by myself. I'm not even building this podcast by myself. There's a team that helps me with all of this stuff. Are your goals big enough? Right? Are your goals big enough? The other thing, when I go back to Brendon Burchard's high performance habits, is not only do they set big, clear goals, but they also track their progress regularly, right? In this book, I was just reading this. Those who have high performance habits, they not only set the goals, but they check in more often on where they are in progress to those goals than other people. So don't just set the goal. Make sure you're checking in and tracking and seeing how closely you are to hitting those goals as well. Number seven, they focus on the highest value tasks, right? This is huge because I'm a type of guy that I end up doing a lot of little stuff that don't have as much impact on my bottom line until I got this high performance habits and this planner. And this planner has got me writing down my high priority, right? My highest value task. Do that stuff first, Cortez, and then all the other little stuff you can do later. So we all have the same number of hours in a day. The difference is that the most successful founders refuse to work on anything but the most high value tasks, right? If you're an entrepreneur, especially a solopreneur, you got a small business, those are called your income producing activities, right? Your IPAs. Are you doing IPAs or are you doing little stuff all day? Are you focused on the high value tasks? They try to stay connected to their teams, but they know they simply can't afford to get caught up in low-level tasks if they are going to build billion-dollar companies, right? Anybody else struggling with that? I remember when I was early on in my career in network marketing, give an example of what I mean here. I literally put aside 2 hours of my day to work in my business, right? And if you know anything about network marketing, in order to make money in network marketing, you have to be either selling a product or you have to be growing your team. You guys know what I set 2 hours aside to do? I pulled all of my books off my shelf and I said, man, I'm gonna work in my business today. I pull all of my books off my shelf, and this is how I worked in my business. I put the name of my company on all of my books. This is for 2 hours because ain't nobody gonna steal none of my books. I gotta make sure that I'm putting the name on all of my books because ain't nobody gonna steal none of my books, right? So I pull all the books off my shelf, right? And boom, I wrote my name. That was me spending 2 hours, right? And I had convinced myself that I was working in my business. How many of you guys know that's not an income producing activity? How many of you guys know that nobody steals books? Right? Sometimes you get caught up in activities that literally mean nothing in your business, but that's sometimes a way that you rationalize how to do it, right? You rationalize doing something in your business. Guys, find out what your income producing activities are. The 80-20 rule, where does 80% of your income come from based on the 20% of the activities that you're doing, right? 20% of the things that I do create 80% of the revenue. I need to be focused on those 20% every day, right? And I can let those other 80% fade to black, or I can hire somebody to do those other 80%, right? You bet, don't be laughing at me now. That book you had from Evan Jefferson's, I got that one. Yeah, that is my man Evan Jefferson's The Black Billionaires Club, which our whole group was founded on. His study of success. Like me, man, Evan studies wealthy people, right? And you got to if you want to be wealthy. So let's wrap these up so we can get to what say ye and the question of the day. Let's see, number eight. This is huge, y'all. This is huge. This is why I don't compete, right? According to Forbes, these high-level entrepreneurs, these high-level investors and startup founders, number 8, they are constantly building powerful networks. See, I don't compete with other people who are podcasting, building media companies. No, I'm collaborating with them. Right? That's how Evan and I met. Evan and I started out in the financial education space. Evan is a certified financial educator. Some people will say, man, y'all, why are y'all working together? Y'all in the same space. Because we understand it takes a village. It's better to collaborate than compete. We got to build together, lift each other up as we climb, as Evan likes to say, right? They are constantly building powerful networks. Many of the hyper successful entrepreneurs and I've interviewed on the Deal Makers podcast may have at least briefly gone to top colleges or worked for organizations like Apple or Microsoft. Yet they are also the first to tell you that it's who you know that makes all the difference in getting funded and achieving great exits, not what you know. Right? Who you know, not what you know. I recently interviewed Matt Salzberg, founder of Blue Apron. He led the company's $1.9 billion IPO and served as CEO until the company had approximately $910 million of trailing revenue and 5,000 employees. He built his powerful network by graduating from Harvard, as well as working for a powerful venture capitalist firm such as Bestman Venture Partners, right? Now, let me help you guys with one other thing when it comes to building your network. Because a lot of people, this gets lost on a lot of people, right? It's not always about who you know, but it's also about who knows you and what they know about you. I'm gonna say that again. This comes from Dr. George C. Frazier from the Empower Networking Conference, right? He is one of the greatest networkers in the world. He said, it's not who you know, it's who knows you and what they know about you. This is why digital marketing is so powerful, because people are reaching out to me on a regular basis saying, hey, brother, I saw one of your podcasts. I saw one of your Facebook Lives. Can you come and speak on my panel on that same subject? We're having this workshop. Can I invite you into our Zoom meeting and you give us 5 minutes of what you were talking about the other day? See, they understand. They got to know something about me, what I'm passionate about, what I teach, because of the way I display it. Here's another way that you really build networks is if you serve first. See, if you serve other people first, that's the greatest way to get them to know something about you. So I see Brenda Jackson just jumped on. Networking is important to learn who knows you and what they know about. Listen, so if I wanted Brenda Jackson to know something about me, one of the easiest ways to do that is to find out what Brenda needs and serve her. So for instance, if Brenda is an entrepreneur and say Brenda doesn't have a website and I want it to be in Brenda's network, I go build her a website and then I'll inbox her and say, hey, Brenda, I noticed that you didn't have a website. I built this on your behalf. Let's set up a time and we can actually customize it and make it fit more of your brand if you want to. But I just thought you should have this to go along with what you got going on. What is Brenda going to think if I came to her like that? Number one, she's never going to forget me. That's for sure, because ain't nobody ever done nothing that significant for anybody for free. Number two, she's going to know that Cortez is a website builder. And if she ever needs a website, or if anybody ever remotely mentions needing a website in her presence, you know the first thing she's going to do? Hey, you need to go holler at Cortez and Thornton Online Marketing. Those guys are amazing website builders. See, it ain't about me knowing Brenda as much as it is about Brenda knowing me and what she knows about me. I hope y'all get that. I hope y'all don't let that get lost. I hope y'all don't let that get lost. How can you make the impression that people know about you what you want them to know about you? Specifically, your ability to solve problems. And I can't take no credit from that. When I heard George C. Fraser say that, Dr. Fraser say that, I'm like, man, that's powerful. I've been spending all of my time chasing and trying to find people and get to know them. No, I need to make sure I leave an impression so they get to know me. So that this is where recommendations come from. This is where referrals come from. And if you want people to refer you for your business, then serve them what you do for free. Just saying. I know y'all don't understand that. Y'all say, man, Cortez, I don't make no money if I work for free. If you ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know that Robert Kiyosaki says rich people don't work for money. One of the things they work for that's not money is relationships. Right? Let me get to number 10, man. I'm going to get off that because I got to get to my question of the day answer for myself. So now, number 9, they create success routines, right? It may not be sexy, but it works. You probably didn't aspire to go to bed early or getting into a regular routine when you first dreamed of how life could be in high school or starting out your business venture. Your idea may have looked different. It's all about routine, guys. Success does not happen in a day, but it does happen daily. What does your routine say about you? If you are not where you want to be, or you cannot even see that you're going to get where you want to be in the next 6 months, 12 months, I guarantee you the answer is in your daily routine. It's in your routine, right? Number 10, they are always seeking to fail. If you aren't failing, you aren't pushing yourself hard enough. If you aren't ahead of your time, you are behind the times. If you aren't getting no's from potential investors, then you aren't asking for enough or from the best investors. If you aren't sometimes having to apologize to users, then you aren't pushing the boundaries of what you can do for them enough. See, we talked about that in the quote of the day is you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice by Bob Marley. See, successful people are always putting themselves at risk of failing. That's the only place growth lives. When I work out in the morning, if I'm working out for maintenance, I'm just trying to stay the size that I am, then I lift the weights that I lift. But if I'm working out for growth, I have to lift heavier and heavier weights all the time. And I have to push my muscles to failure to get them to grow. And it happens in every other space. If you want to grow your business, you have to push your business to the brink of failure, willing to risk failure, because without no risk, there is no reward. Get to that uncomfortable place. That's where growth happens, right? So now let's get to my answer for the question of the day. The question of the day is, what started you on your entrepreneurial journey, right? And here on the Cortez Hustle Show, I like to ask you, the guys, to answer the question. If you do answer the question, you get entered into a drawing to win a free vacation. So put QOTD and then your answer. And that's how my team knows to grab your name, put it in the hat. And at noon on Wednesdays, we do a live drawing and we give away a free vacation. So we had a lot of people, a few people, I'm not going to say a lot, a few people answered the question of the day. And let's see. And also, when you put QOTD, it makes it easier for me to find your comment as well. So Big Boy 357 says, when my supervisor told me that I couldn't take a vacation without getting docked, right then and there, I knew I was working for the wrong person. I love that. I love that. Let's see who else answered the question of the day. Jessica says, wanting better for myself and realizing my purpose in life. So let me tell you guys my answer to the question of the day, guys. Some of you guys have heard me say this before, but my story is I am the fourth born child of 6 children raised by a single mom on welfare. And we had $900 a month to care for 6 kids, right? We had $300 that came from welfare, $300 in food stamps, and then $300 came from a Social Security check because I lost my dad when I was 11, right? She had to raise us on $900 per month. And one of the things that drove me to entrepreneurship is I wanted to relieve the burden from my mom, right? I knew that there were nights that she fed us and she didn't eat. I knew. In St. Louis, we have these rice houses. And when I was coming up, you could go get a box of rice for 90 cents, right? Plain fried, no meat, no bells and whistles, but for 90 cents. So I figured that if I could hustle up on 90 cents a day, I could at least feed myself. And then maybe my mom could feed herself after she fed my brothers and sisters. So that was one of the things that drove me to entrepreneurship. So as a young kid, I would shovel snow, I would rake leaves, I would pump gas, I would clean garages. I worked on my uncle's candy truck. Rest in peace to my Uncle Mac. He really poured into me as a kid and let me see what entrepreneurship was like. So I was just trying to make my own money so that I would ease the burden on my mom. And that drove me into entrepreneurship. Unfortunately, for a short time, it led to the drug dealers in my community recognized our hustle. So we end up being recruited into a whole nother thing. That's another story for another time. But at the end of the day, that's what lit the fire of entrepreneurship in me. I had a desire to want to care for myself early on in life to relieve the burden from my mom. So that is the question of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time. So until I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.